Ever since The Mandalorian Season 3 wrapped up, fans have been wondering, is Moff Gideon really dead?
The Force will be with you always.
They pointed out things like he didn't have a mustache in that last episode. Was he a clone of Moff Gideon as opposed to being the real deal? All those questions are valid questions and ones that have been spinning around the fandom for a little while. And just recently, Giancarlo Esposito spoke on the newly released behind the scenes, the gallery that walked through season 3 of The Mandalorian. There are a lot of interesting things about this episode on Disney Plus, but I want to just look at what he had to say about whether or not Moff Gideon is alive. Well, Disney doesn't let you screen record or screen capture, so we're going to listen to what he had to say, and I'll play some B-roll over top. Let's go.
I know the inference was that always one day that Moff Gideon probably would meet his demise, and that wasn't a problem for me at all. It's just when and how tangible it is for an audience to see what may happen to him. I love this particular franchise because it's never clearly defined what really happens. Even for Luke Skywalker, when he goes over the edge, he's over the edge. You don't see that brutal demise or death, and there's always a possibility that the rise from the ashes is possible.
Now, obviously, this doesn't confirm that Moff Gideon is alive. They're leaving the door open. Personally, I hope that this doesn't happen, that he stays dead. The reason being is there's two theories of how he could survive, or at least two main ones. One, that that was really Moff Gideon, but yet he didn't die. Somehow he escaped, even though he was burned up. He was in his suit, and somehow he survived, even though the ship crashed in and all the stuff went kind of crazy. I don't love that storyline. I think that feels a little far-fetched. So the other option is that wasn't really Moff Gideon. Instead, that was one of the clones given force powers, as he's been trying to do with Pershing. The problem that I have with that isn't so much that it's not believable. It is. That was the storyline that was being presented. However, I have a problem with what that means for the other things in Star Wars canon. And if they've successfully done this cloning with force powers, well, okay, then they should just be able to replicate that, and we wouldn't have all of these failed Snoke clones that we see in the movies. It wouldn't really line up. It would kind of make a disjointed. They'd have to say, oh, they lost the research by Pershing was lost in the fire, as if there's no cloud backup or whatever it might. Like, it just seems kind of silly. I really actually just hope that Moff Gideon is gone. He's served his purpose. And now if you need a big bad, you need someone to be the evil presence that's going to be pushing the Empire, or the remnant of the Empire, forward, that should be Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's who's going to be shown in the Ahsoka series, and I really hope that means he jumps over into Mandalorian Season 4 for a few reasons. One, I think Thrawn is a great character that we need to see more of, and I'm not sure that him just showing up in parts of Ahsoka is going to be enough, at least not for me personally. Second, I also think there needs to be something that gets Mando out of retirement. He's hanging out with Grogu on the ranch. So what is it? I think the threat of Thrawn and maybe even Ahsoka showing up to get them moving, that's kind of how I would think it should go. I'd much rather see that than them bring back Moff Gideon and try to do a rerun. Let me know what you think. Do you hope Moff Gideon comes back? Do you think he's going to survive? Hit a like on the video and share this with someone if you think they'd enjoy it. And if you want to know more about Grand Admiral Thrawn, you can click on this video right here where I make the case that Thrawn is the best Star Wars villain. And remember, the Force will be with you always.